Hi guys, my name is Emily, and today I'm going to be filming my September wrap-up and announcing a couple of things at the end of the video. Today I'm drinking some pumpkin chai from my lovely color-changing David's tea mug. It's very exciting. I am 6. So September wasn't a great reading month like all the other months have been. I had to wrap up my thesis, so a lot of final edits, and then I defended my project in an oral defense, sort of an oral exam, and then I had to upload the project and apply for a bunch of things, and so now I'm all set, I'm all settled, I'm all interviewed, I'm all employed. Hopefully there will be more time to read in October, and I've actually picked out a fairly ambitious October TBR, which I posted on Instagram. If you want to see what I plan on reading, links to my Instagram are in the description box down below. Let's get into the things that I read in September. So the first thing I read in September was Valley of Embers by Kelliher. I was sent this book by the author in exchange for an honest review, which I have done, and I will link in the description box down below. This is a debut fantasy novel, and it tells the story of Cole, who is an Ember. Ember are people who have been gifted powers by the land. He is of a group of people who were land-kissed by the desert, so he has fire powers, but there are other sorts of abilities depending on kind of where you grew up and what land gifted you. Of course, it's the classic fantasy good versus evil, save the world, all that jazz. I thought Stephen did some interesting things with gender in here, and if you want to hear more about that, you can check out my review. Then there was a huge gap in time in which I read nothing. I was kind of in a bit of a reading slump. Finally, I dug into my October TBR a little bit early because I knew that this book was on there, and I knew it was small, and I knew I would enjoy it. And so this is Wizard's Hall by Jane Yolen. Now this was written in 1991, Harry Potter was written in 1997. Keep that in mind when I tell you that this is about a boy named Henry who, when he is 11, goes to wizard school. And he is put under the mentorship of a tall, gangly, freckled, red-headed boy named Will. Will has too many sisters. Will has 10 sisters. The paintings in the Wizard's Hall talk and move. The ceiling in Henry's bedroom is enchanted to look like the night sky. And of course, it is about the chosen one, Henry, fighting the big bad. I mean, obviously this doesn't compare to Harry Potter. Harry Potter is so much richer. This is a fun little kid's story. It's very quick paced. This has inspired me to do a video coming some point in the future in which I talk about plagiarism versus drawing inspiration from your contemporaries. So stay tuned for that. I mean, if you're a fan of Harry Potter, this is a fun read. It's definitely not Harry Potter though. The thing that consumed the most of my time that I was reading sort of consistently throughout September was The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This is the first book in the Wheel of Time series. This was published in 1990, and it's heavily influenced by Lord of the Rings, but it does some really interesting things with gender. One of those things is that magic in this fantasy world is only accessible to women. In the past, a man used the one power and tainted it for all men. He did some dark things with it, and now men cannot access this power without going insane. So women have exclusive access to magic in this setting. So if we think about, and a lot of scholars have thought about magic in this way, if we think about magic as agency, when women have access to magic, and magic equals agency, what does that do for genders? And it's interesting because on the one hand, the women are really powerful. You have village wisdoms who are sort of, most of them have access to this magic. You have the Aes Sedai who are like a sisterhood of magical people, and they're quite powerful, but they're also feared. And I think it's really interesting to think through gender and power and who has access to power and what that does to society. Super fascinating, and I'm so excited to keep reading and see how the magic works. And finally, I finished off The Bazaar of Bad Dreams by Stephen King. This is a short story collection that came out last year. I was given this for Christmas, and I've kind of been picking away at it over the year. There were some hits and there were some misses. I found a lot of the stories super predictable. Like within the first couple paragraphs, I'd seen where it was going. So like the shock value in some of these stories wasn't there. If I ever review another Stephen King story collection, I think I will try and like film bits and pieces as they occur to me, like in my monthly wrap-ups, wrap up the stories that I've read. So there's one story in the collection in which the protagonist is given access to alternate worlds through his Kobo or Kindle, his e-reader, whatever it is. There's like an alternate world section, and in alternate worlds, different famous authors have lived longer and have written more works and have done different things. That was kind of interesting. The last story in the collection is about an apocalypse, post-nuclear living, and that was short, and it definitely got to me, and it got me researching, like, logistically, how would a nuclear disaster affect the world? It's pretty realistic, we'd be pretty screwed. That one is definitely sitting with me as like an uncomfortable reality, like in the way that The Walking Dead is totally impossible. This is very possible, and so it's stuck with me. But yeah, a lot of the stories I did see the ending coming. I don't know, if you've read Bazaar of Bad Dreams, let me know what your experience with it was in the comments down below. And now I just have a couple of announcements if you guys want to stick around. That would be great, because I'm looking for your feedback, I'm looking for your input and your participation. So firstly, I'd just like to mention that I am doing a buddy reads of Rebecca with Emily Boone here on YouTube. I will leave a link to her channel in the description box down below. She is a cool, newish booktuber that you might like to check out. I will keep you posted on Rebecca. You can follow me on Instagram, where I will be sort of updating my thoughts on that, and check out Emily's channel. The second thing I wanted to mention is that there are quite a lot of you now, which is amazing, and I just want to say thank you for subscribing to this channel. I really appreciate all of the comments and the discussions, and you guys make this so much fun for me, so thank you. It's been a while since I've done a Q&A, so if you want to leave me some questions in the comment section of this video, I would like to put together a Q&A. Really, you can ask me anything, life, school, books, whatever. Leave me your questions in the comment section down below so I can share a bit more with you guys and you can get to know me a little bit better. And finally, I am going to be putting together a video series on my thesis project. I think it's been 3 years. I've been talking about this project and people have been asking about this project, and it has changed shape and it's finally published. It's in my university's database. It is done and I can't touch it anymore. So I'm prepared to share. I've been tossing around a couple of ideas and I'm looking for your input. What would you be interested in seeing? It's a building project. So the project starts with a base concept, with a base idea, and I build that foundation and then I build analysis on top of each layer until I get to the conclusion. So it's really not a simple project or an easily explained project. So my thought initially was a video series sort of walking you through the process, building the foundation together, and then offering my analysis, and then offering up like a discussion section. I can't remember off the top of my head who. Someone suggested that I put together a summary video and then open it up for questions, like a Q&A. It would be a really long summary video, which is why I was kind of thinking of breaking it into little sections. But I'm looking for your input. Would you prefer one long video? Would you prefer little sort of bite-sized digestible chunks? Because I know you guys have expressed an interest in the project, I'm just wondering what would be the best way to share it. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.